I truly believe the Toronto condo market can sink the entire Toronto GTA real estate market. I will share my screen and I have a few graphs that I would like to talk to you about. Also, I would like to touch on assignment sales. Maybe you were privileged to work with some of these in the past. Maybe you have an assignment sale on your own, but you don't know what is going on. So I would like to touch on these points and why I believe that condo real estate market is obviously in trouble, but can sink everyone else. So let's get right into it. All right, folks, so let's talk about it. We have all the proof, all the graphs, social media, all the news. It's blaring. Toronto condo market is in trouble. And yet we have a lot of assignment sales and we have all these sellers that are not being realistic. So let's talk about an assignment sale. What is an actual assignment sale? So basically, at one point, a buyer would walk into place. They would purchase a piece of paper, which is their new condo built in a particular project. So let's just imagine somebody goes in, gives a deposit, buys a particular condo unit. In this example, they purchase it and they're on hold. They're waiting for all these deposits to be submitted as according to the agreement and the developers. Now, when the time comes, they have a few options before they get these keys and before the title is transferred to their name. Now, having said that, that particular method of sale between agents, between the developers, the builders, the showrooms and all of that stuff, back in the day, a few years ago, it was well worth it and it did work, right? It was amazing because people were flipping a piece of paper for profit. It is very simple. The number one goal for any buyer at that particular time was to stand in the line, to be first in phase one, to purchase a unit, to sit tight, and before they get that particular unit transferred to their name as in title, they would sell that piece of paper for profit and they would give it to somebody else. Hello? So today, the dynamic, that need has changed a lot. Nobody is looking for these assignment sales. Nobody wants to purchase your bad deal. This is what it is. So let's call it for what it is. Nobody wants to purchase your bad deal. Maybe at the time when you have purchased it, maybe it made sense. So there are options, obviously, when it comes to these agreements and contracts and all of that stuff. But we know that in 2025 and 2026, we have thousands upon thousands of these units about to meet their new owners. And guess what's happening at the moment? Everyone is panicking. So therefore, we have thousands upon thousands of these units for sale today, right? So let's get into the data. Let me show you a couple of things that were interested to me, okay? So let's get right into it. Now, new listings. This is for September 2024. 18,089 new listings in Treb area. That means the whole Toronto GTA area. 18,089 new listings. Now, check this out. From that, 5,178 listings were relisted. That's 28.6% of the entire inventory got relisted. Now, whether they got relisted at a better price, better strategy, same strategy, hoping for the best, right? Hoping for that next Bank of Canada move or whatever the case is. But this is exactly what is happening. So 28.6% got relisted. Now, let's go back to the trend. So year to date in 2024, we have seen that 133,697 units were up for grabs, so new listings, and 33,670 units were relisted. So it's 25%. So that particular trend, it's year to date, right? So from January up to now, we are having the same trend. In fact, it is increasing by a few points. Now, that could be the fall market, getting closer into winter, the motivation is a little bit different and all of that stuff. But overall, we can safely say that is 25% plus. Now, let's go into this next slide because we're talking about condominiums and this is very important. Now, if we check this out right here, so between year over year, so total condo apartment sales. So year over year, we are down by 19.8%. That's almost 20% down year to date in terms of sales. Okay. And then the average sale price year over year also went down by 1.2%. Okay. So now as we're moving on and like now, okay, so these two things. So let's clarify something here. We have less sales, but the prices went down by 1%. Now, me looking at the MLS, I do this every day. This is my full-time job. This is what I do. I tend to find that as time goes on, the price might be the same, but the product is getting better, which means that a better product will fetch less money, right? So only good product in these times will sell for a good price, which means that, for example, in this example here, an average was 729,000. If we go a few years back, this would be a 1+ den, right? If you're lucky, like 1 bedroom plus den, best case scenario, you're good. Now with these prices, in this price, this category, you can fetch easily a 2-bedroom, a nice 2-bedroom with a good view, with the parking spot, etc. So it means that not only we're, okay, like this graph looks like nothing has changed, only 1%, but the product that is moving in the pace today is much better. Okay, so like take that into consideration. So back to the graph. Total new listings year over year, Q2 23, 12,000 and change. Q2 2024, 16.9, almost 17,000. That's an increase of 36.5%. That is crazy. That inventory is nuts. And I would also like to add that we have thousands upon thousands of these units in every tower for sale. But having said that, new completed projects are coming up. 2024, 2025, 2026. These buyers at that time, they purchased it at the peak. And the peak was 2022 Q1. That was the peak. So in 2021 and 2022, the completion now, it's 2025, 6, 7, 24, depending on the project. You see where I'm going with this? So we cannot even sell thousands of units that we have. The inventory that we got, 25% of that gets relisted back into the MLS, right? So we have that 25% we cannot sell. We have added 36% of inventory from last year to this year. We have thousands of new units coming. So it's a catastrophe about to happen. Now, furthermore, talking to mortgage brokers, talking to the bank, trying to feel that, to feel what is actually going on. Many are confused because they believe that just because they listed something as an assignment sale, that they will first sell it fast, second, that someone will buy their bad opportunity. Maybe that opportunity was good at that time. None of these sellers now, they don't want to lose money, because one thing what I have noticed a lot from these buyers at that time and then sellers today, they say, look, I will sell it, but only if I get X. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like they still believe for some reason. I do not know what the reason is, because this news gets to them. I'm not the only one making these videos. There are thousands of creators, news headlines everywhere. And yet they still say, nope, if I don't get this number, I'm not going to sell. It's like, what do you mean? Like, you have to be lucky if we can sell it, period. That's number one. And then number two, for some odd reason, they believe that real estate will bounce. I do believe that. It will take a time. I think we're 3 to 5 years before we see movement increase within that 3 to 5 years. That will feather slowly. And I don't know if I believe that we'll still hit the bottom yet, because checking all these graphs and making sure to follow the trends and stuff like that, yes, some people will have it easier with all these banks doing whatever they're doing and they're trending in the right direction. But there's so much to do. And just to clear this inventory, it'll take a year. If we were full-time working on it, never mind. Now, I have another question. If somebody's selling, somebody's got to buy. So if somebody's buying, what are they buying? Your bad deal? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants those deals a few years ago. So just keep that in mind. I'm not criticizing here. I'm just trying to open your eyes so you see data a little bit, and then my take on it, because I'm rubbing shoulders with the bank and I see what's going on. So either a lot of people have a lot of money, or people don't have money. Or it seems like that they have money, but they have so much debt that they cannot even ride whatever they have. But there's still demand. If I cannot get this, I'm not selling. I don't know where the privilege is, but this is what it is. Now, let's get into the rental. Very important, because there's a high percentage of investors in our Toronto real estate condo, specifically condo market. Like huge. Okay. So now these investors, they're relying on one thing, and they're relying on tenants paying for their investment, which I do agree, right? So the investor gets a lump sum of a deposit, a down payment. They jump through the loops. So now it is expected that that particular tenant pays for everything. It's called an investment, right? Okay, so today it's a negative cash flow. It's not an investment. It can be, depends how you're looking at it, because many of buyers, even in that crazy times, 2021, 2022, we go back to these trophy years, okay? So even then, they were saying, we don't care if it's negative cash flow, as long as I can get that unit and I can secure it. I don't care about the negative cash flow. And I would ask, why? I mean, doesn't that make any, like, investing, 101? That's what you should do. Like, that particular tenant should pay for all the cost and you invest. That's why you invest. Say, no, we don't care. You know why? Because we know one thing and this and that. I say, okay, so what do you know that I don't know? So look, if I purchase it and if I buy it, if I secure it, I can just ride the wave before I get the keys. I sell it, market is hot. Oh, great. I don't know how secure that is, but what if it goes the other way around? Many, 9 out of 10 people that I spoke to said, never going to happen. Never going to happen. Like, these are mega, ultra, giga projects. Never going to happen. And it happened. So now they're writing negative cash flow. They're probably writing a HELOC on their property. And they're probably writing so many other, debt that we don't even know. And they still want this because they are in an investor and they demand certain price. So I don't know how long this is going to hold. And these tenants, as I mentioned, they cannot cover the cost. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They cannot cover the cost, right? And now getting back to the graph, we see here that total apartment rentals in Q2 2023 were close to 14,000, okay? But check this out. Q2 2024, which is a year later, it's 17,400 units. So we went up by 25.2%. Is it a coincidence? It's not. It is not ladies and gentlemen, this is not a coincidence, right? So now we're pushing more listings, more rental units, more this, more that. Nobody's giving. They all want the top dollar. Like, it's got to crumble at one point. At one point, this thing is going to hit the wall so bad, so fast, so quickly. Okay, so let's get into more of data. Okay, now, year over year, Q2 2023, $2,529 for a one-bedroom condominium to rent. Now, that number, Q2 2024, went down by 3%. I know it is small, but check this out. These numbers take longer than usual. And the reason is because of contracts. Think about that for a second. Every landlord would like to secure a agreement of lease for at least a year. So they're secure, right? So many of these contracts, they're not even up. They haven't surfaced yet. But many will very quickly, because when these tenants, when they see that they can fetch another unit for less money, maybe better unit, why not move? They can even move in the same building. If they're living now and paying $2,500, and if they see the same unit, 2-bedroom or bigger or better, why not move? You know what I mean? They just go across the street, right? Or even in the same tower. So then that's going to start to happen, right? Now, total new listings when it comes to the condos, Q2, 19,000, close to 20,000, and Q2 2024 is 30,000, up by 51.3%, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe that we're heading into a huge wall, and nobody is even thinking at this point. Everybody is just having fun. It's all cool. Things are going to feather off slowly, and everybody is going to come and save you. Not going to happen. You have to save yourself. Sit down. Please try to calculate. See where your numbers are, right? Try to be more realistic. Some people, sometimes it is better to take a little bit of a loss than to carry a huge burden for a long time, and you don't know when you will see the next gain, because that jump, that hockey stick, I don't believe that we will see in a long time. So when I say long time, investing, it's 3 to 5 years is a long time. And believe me, I don't think that anyone can predict more than 6 months, maybe a year. A pro maybe can predict a year ahead. But 6 months, within a quarter, maybe you can predict, because not too many things happen in a quarter. All of these people, I know what's going to happen in 10 years. Well, look, you don't know, because nobody knows. A lot of things can happen. So I hope you got the value out of this video. This is just my take when it comes to Obviously, the graphs are from Toronto Real Estate Board. This is just my feeling. I just turned on my camera. I'm talking to it. Hope you got value. Maybe you learned something. If you agree with me, comment. If you don't agree with me, comment. Like I want to learn from you as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like I value your opinion. And please like, share, and subscribe, and see you all next time.